This is a 90-minute Alex Hormozi video that I clipped into 30 seconds on complete autopilot.
The easiest hack for selling to rich people is do what somebody else is doing that sells to rich people and do it in half the time and charge twice the price. Number one, rich people pay for time above all else. But if we look at the value equation, you've got the outcomes. You got to make sure they want the outcome that you're promising.
Notice the hook, the instant engagement, dynamic captions that follow the speaker, perfectly cropped to vertical. This automation analyzed 90 minutes of video, identified viral moments, clipped them, added captions, and exported everything. And if you're interested, here's the video that I used. And if you are somebody who follows Alex Hormozi, you know that he drops some absolute bombs. So a 90-minute video is perfect for clipping. The breakthrough isn't just speed, it's cost. This YouTube short cost me less than $1, and that includes generating the high resolution final video. I'll walk you through the exact workflow, but here's something you need to know. I haven't written a single line of code. All you need is an N8N and about 20 minutes to set this up once. So let me show you how this starts. Everything kicks off with a simple form. And this simple form is a trigger. And the inputs are two fields. The first is the video URL that you want to clip. And the second is how many shorts do you want. Now bear in mind that the longer the video and the more shorts you require, it's obviously going to take longer to analyze the video, and it's going to cost more because you have more than one short. So I entered the URL for that Alex Hormozi 90-minute business fireside chat on the podcast, and I selected one short. And behind the scenes, this workflow does something most people think requires a video editor. First, it pulls the audio and transcribes it. Then it analyzes the transcript, looking for hooks, surprises, emotional peaks, and parts of the video that has high engagement. It ranks every moment by virality score and cuts the top segments into shorts. But raw clips aren't enough. The automation resizes everything from widescreen to vertical. It tracks the speaker, keeps them centered, and it adds dynamic captions that pop on screen exactly when the word is spoken. And here's where most automations fail, because they produce identical templates. This one generates unique content every single time. Different hooks, different pacing, different visual emphasis. The secret with my automation is how it analyzes the transcript. And guys, that is a secret sauce. And if you stick around to the end of this video, I'll show you how you can monetize this skill and where you can find clients that are willing to spend 10 times more than what it will cost you to create one of these video shorts. You see this hook, the easiest hack for selling to rich people? The automation picked that line because it scores high on curiosity and authority. And that's not templated, that's intelligent clipping, a skill that would normally require a video editor. And once the shorts are clipped and captioned, the workflow exports them in really high quality. And once it's done, the output can be whatever you want it to be. And students inside of my community, they are actually using this automation as a side hustle. And the way they're doing it is by sending the links to the video shorts to a view-only Google Sheets that their clients have access to. It's a very simple process. And a lot of these clients, they already have social media teams that can take the content, the titles, the captions, and upload it onto TikTok or YouTube Shorts or wherever they like. It's a very simple process, but they're absolutely making bank with it. And here's the problem most people hit. APIs and workflow tools feel complicated. And honestly, I thought the same before I realized that N8N makes this dead simple, because you're not writing code, you're just connecting blocks. So let me show you how you can build this for yourself. The first node you're going to need is the on-form submission. So click on the plus sign, go to the nodes panel, look for N8N form, and you're going to need something like this. This is a test URL. When you go into production, you use the production URL. So if you are going to sell this to clients, they only need the on-form submission and the output for the Google Sheets. They do not need to know what's happening under the hood in N8N. And that's the beauty of the entire system. For the form title, I've given it clipping automation. And then there are two mandatory fields. The first is video URL, which is a text. And the second is how many shorts, and that's a number. So for this example with Alex Hormozi, here's the video URL, and I just asked for one short. Once we have that, we can then analyze the video. So for this, I'm using the HTTP request node. The method is post. And then the service that I'm using for this is called Klap.app, which is honestly the best clipping tool that I've ever used. They've made it super simple. It's really affordable, and you can trigger the entire process through API. So this is the endpoint that we're going to use, which is video to shorts. This is the base URL. And then you're going to want to set up authentication. So I'm using the generic credential type, which is the header auth. And all you want to do is just click on where it says create new credential. The name is authorization. And then for the value, you need bearer space and your API key. So sign up to Klap.app. You're going to be taken to this dashboard here. The first thing you want to do is add some billing. And like I said, it's very affordable. So you can see here, I've done a few clips. And so for 3 video inputs is $1.32. To generate 5 shorts is $1.60. And 3 exports is $1.44. And all of this is less than $5. And for the API key, you just head over to your profile picture, click on API. And then if you don't have one, just create a new API key, copy this, and then paste it where it says API-key. Save it and give it a name. And then you can use this credential without having to type in your API key. It's stored in a template. And then because we're sending a payload back to Klap.app, we're going to need a JSON body. So toggle that on. The content type is always JSON. We're going to use JSON. And here's the JSON payload. So there's only 3 things that you need to edit here. The first is the source video URL. And we're going to grab that from the on-form submission, which is the video URL here, to make it dynamic. Because remember, this is completely automated. And then the 2 fields that you're going to need to enter are target clip count and max clip count. And for this, we're going to need the how many shorts dynamic field. You just drag and drop that over. You know know it's worked because it's green, but more importantly, if you look at the results window, you'll see the video URL and you'll see the number of shorts that was imported in the on-form submission. Everything else you can leave unless you want to change the size of the video. So mine was set to 30 seconds. So the video analysis will take some time. Now, this was a 90-minute video, so it took about 20 minutes for it to analyze inside of Klap.app, which is why I need a next node, which is a wait node. So I've set it to 60 seconds. It actually doesn't really matter because I've got a feedback loop. And so what will happen is if you've done it correctly, you're going to get a status of processing. You're going to get a video ID or an analysis ID. This is very important because we're going to need that later. And this status needs to be ready, which is why I've added the next node, which is a HTTP request node. The method is get. This is the base URL. And then on the end, you want the ID from the previous node, which is the analysis ID. So you just drag this. You can either get it from wait for status or from analyze video. Drag it over here and you're going to see the actual URL that we need. Again, find the credentials for Klap.app. And what happens is unless this status is not ready, which it is in this case because I've already done it, it will then go to the next step of the automation. And for this, I've added an if node. And what this says is if the status is equal to ready, then move on through the true branch. So there's two branches, there's false and true. If it's false, it will just keep looping back into the wait node. And that's why I said the wait for status doesn't really matter. You can set it to 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds. It doesn't matter. This feedback loop will take care of it. So you can see that it looped around about 20 times. So it took around about 20-25 minutes for the video analysis. Once it's true, it then goes to a true branch. And then I've added a node to get the shorts. The method is get, and this is a HTTP request node again. But this time we're going to need the output ID, which is this field here. You drag that and put it at the end so you get the actual URL. Remember to authenticate, so add your Klap.app header, auth, credentials, and that's it. On the right hand side, you're going to see all this information. So it's got the virality score, it's got the explanation, and they've even created captions for TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And it's even got the transcript text if you need that. And the next node is to upscale it, because if you are doing this for clients, then you want to make sure that you're giving them the best possible video that you can generate. For this, I'm using another HTTP request node. The method is post. This time, we're going to use this URL here. So this is the base URL, and everything here before the / exports is going to be dynamic. So we need the output ID and we need a shorts ID. And the output ID comes from the previous node, which is ready. It's this one here. And then the shorts ID is from the get shorts node, which is this one here. You just drag that over, and then to make sure that you've done it right, the URL should look like this. Once it runs, the most important thing for you to check to make sure that it's worked, the first thing always is the ID. It should create some kind of task ID, which it has done here. The second is the status. If you see processing, then you know it's worked. Anything else, then it's failed. And then we need another set of feedback loops, because again, this is going to take a few minutes for it to process into the high resolution or 4K resolution. So the first one is a wait node. And again, I've just given it 60 seconds. The second one is get status. This time it's a HTTP request node. The method is get. And this is the URL. So this time we're going to need the shorts URL, the output ID, and the 4K ID. So it will look something like this. And then once it's done, or if we want to check that it's done, we can then add another if node. So this time we just want to make sure that the status in the get status node is equal to ready. That's it. If it is, it'll go through the true branch and you'll have outputs. And you know it's worked because you've got a source URL. And this is the video that I showed you inside of my Chrome tab. And so the last step is entirely up to you. Now you can automate the entire process and post it to TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram. And you can use a tool like Blatato. Now I'm not an affiliate, I don't own this site, but they do have a community node inside of NA10. So you can automate the entire process. And if you're wondering about pricing, it's $29 a month. You get this many amount of credits, but it includes every single social media platform. And the other option is you put on a Google Sheet, because we have the source URL, and with the get shorts node, we also have the captions. So we can map this to a Google Sheet along with the source URL, which is what my students are doing inside of the private community. This way it's very simple. You just post it to a Google Sheet, make it view only, and all their social media manager has to do is grab the video, upload it with the caption. Awesome. We now have an automated video clipping editor inside of NA10. But how do you monetize this skill, and where do you find clients? Well, let me show you. Head over to Upwork.com. And if you're new to Upwork, it's basically the largest freelancer platform in the world. They post something like 10 million jobs a day. So there's plenty of opportunity here for you. Now I've done a search for shorts editor, and I've filtered by fixed price, 100 to 500, 500 to 1000, 1000 to 5K, and then 5K plus. These are client budgets. And I've also filtered by payment verified, because generally I find that verified clients are easier to work with. The first job is a meta video editor. Estimated budget $500. The next one, a YouTube Shorts - mid-form video editor. The budget is $120. Now this is usually per video, and most of the time they already have the content. So what they want is somebody like you to turn long form into short form. And here's another job, long-term video editor for short form ads. Again, you can just take existing content, plug it into this NA10 automation, sit back, relax, and let NA10 do the work for you. And if you're wondering how much a freelancer on Upwork can make, let me show you. So I've done a search for video clip editor, hourly rates from $30 to $100 an hour, filtered by top rated and top rated plus. The first result is Maxwell. He's charging $60 an hour, and he's earned over $300,000 on his platform. This next guy is charging $40 an hour, and he's made over $50,000 on Upwork. And I'll show you one more for good luck. Marcelo here has made over $100,000 on Upwork, and he's charging $40 an hour. And the way I would price this and how I teach my students is to 10x your costs. So for example, if one short or a series of shorts cost you $5. You invoice the client $50. Remember, this is very scalable because you're not doing any of the work. All you need to do is plug in their existing content, and most of these guys have YouTube channels or some form of long-term content that you can plug into this automation. And then you just need to specify the number of shorts. This makes it nice and easy, and it's very easy to invoice clients on a fixed cost basis. But if they are larger videos, then you might want to consider an hourly rate, because the Alex Hormozi example took about 30 minutes end to end. That was to analyze the video, create the captions, and to export it. So for your business, it might make more sense to invoice clients every hour. And you can have as many clients as you want with a system like this. And I've just shown you where you can find these clients who are willing to pay top dollar. And if you want more money-making ideas and tips like this, click on the link in my description and sign up to the Automation Kings private community. I have hundreds of automations in here, just like this one, but I also teach my students how they can build an AI automation agency, which is what I do as a full-time job. And I've actually scaled that to over $10,000 a month. I've got content for beginners, intermediates, and advanced. And if you don't know where to start, I've also got it covered. So the link for that is in the description. Click on that, sign up, and I'll see you on the inside. And if this video opened your eyes, please smash the like button. Leave me any comments below if you have any questions, and I'll see you when the next video drops. Thank you.